I went for 1.5 years to Germany for Alexander von Humboldt Foundation, like postdoc. And since 1993 I am appointed at Charles University, and there I read partly systematic paleontology, some invertebrates, some organic world microfossils like acritarchs, prasinophytes, chitinozoans and so on, and some parts of historic and stratigraphic geology focused on Precambrian to Devonian. It means the area which I like. This area was for the first time mapped in middle of 19th century. The main point of your excursion is Baran, so we should start with this person. He came to this area during 1830s. Before, as royalist, he had to escape from France, and at first he joined French king and went to Britain. In Britain there was beginning of stratigraphy because he met Roderick Murchison. Baran was very deeply influenced by the activity of British geologists, mainly of Murchison, who defined the Silurian system there in Britain. Silurian system in the wider sense than we understand today. And that's why when Baran came to this area, to the beginning of 1840s, in length of 20 kilometers, and it's never wider than 1.5 kilometers. We have a lot of slopes, a lot of tiny valleys. We have complicated tectonics, and we have only a section through quite complicated basin. We have section only in one direction. So, biostratigraphy, I am still not sure how to subdivide exactly, because we have fauna which is related to quality of bottom. And if we take biological approach to find fossils in situ and not transport it, it's not easy task. We have relation to depth, we have relation to substrate, and we have relation to the position within the basin and source areas. So I hope that before my retirement I will be able to propose my own figure of biostratigraphy. For the moment I will use a combination of what's published before and my recent knowledge. So we start at the best section in this area, which is best from geological point of view, but not best from paleontological point of view. The mountain of Ural. And in this West Perigondwanan or West Gondwanan area from Spain to Ural, we can see that Cambrian is at all places not continuing from Precambrian. There is, okay, this statue was established in 1968 to the occasion of Geological Congress, which was organized on August 20th. So it was finished on 21st August of the same year, because Russian and other armies came to Czech Republic, and it was open to this occasion, and the excursion didn't took place. But since that time, I should say, I'm bringing each excursion to this place, and one of exceptional occasion was in the year 2000, when at Charles University, with Peter Kraft, with my colleague, organized ISOS, it means International Symposium on Ordovician System, with 180 participants, and it was in the year 2000, and Baran was born 1799. So we manage a meeting here with bus of people coming from village of Sok, where Baran was born, and still part of his family lives there. So there were 6 participants of the meeting, which were of the Baran family, and I should say I was really amazed because 3 men of them look like him. One was about 25, so still head full of hair. The other had already partly missing hairs, and the oldest, he was about 72, was like him. It was really, we have made some photographs. Geological maps. We have here the pre-Cambrian, and we have here numbers of separate samples of typical lithology. So we saw in the conglomerate some silicide. This is number 1, coming from these lenses in pre-Cambrian. Then we have the basal conglomerate, number 4. You see full of quartz. Here is no normal surface. We have some sandy graywacks, which are time to time fossiliferous. We have the typical graywack and shales. We have the upper conglomerate, which is different in composition. You see it here very well. And then we have different types of vulcanites, which are capping. You see there are at least 3 or 4 different types of vulcanites, but the bilateral, they belong to class which is related only to Cambrian. You see some medusae, right to the medusae, or between these medusae is very specific arthropod, which belongs to genus Tuzoia. It is known only from 2 places in Europe. We discovered it 4 years ago. There are lots of parts, but these guys had very big eyes and quite long legs, so they were hunters. And the first hunters in Cambrian, not on the bottom, but within the water column. Below you see very specific animals, which are known only from Burgess type preservation. They are not with hard parts, they are only composed of organic matter, and this belongs to genus Vivaxia. Since 1830. It means now nearly 200 years fossils are covering. When you speak to people who remember the situation now 100 years ago, because I spoke to some older colleagues, they suppose that the amount of rocks which is quarried out was in the thickness of about 1 meter. It means the weathered part is now away. From this outcrop I can guess 60 to 100 large complete trilobites was collected. It's dispersed now all over the world. You see it in Smithsonian, you see it in British Museum of Natural History and so on. To find more complete specimen is quite rare now, and we will concentrate on smaller pieces. The situation from geological point of view is quite nice here. It is from an excursion guide by Professor Krupáč. We have here the pre-Cambrian, which we visited on the preceding outcrop. We have here basal clastics, which are cropping out in the valley over there. Above we have Cambrian sediments, graywacks and shales, and then these conglomerates. These are not going to the surface, and it's completely covered by vulcanites on the right hand side.
Ja, die heeft iedere commissie mee naartoe genomen. Ja, dit is de vraag is van waar worden we zo graag omgedraaid? Ja.
Is die zo'n grote kaart dan?
Nou,
is dat iets bijzonders?
practical sample. So you can see that the stratigraphy of our Silurian is extremely detailed and extremely complicated. The specialists on Silurian are lucky guys because they have graptolites, and they are able to date each graptolite zone with accuracy several thousand years. Wow. So it is probably maximum which paleontology is able to offer, because graptolites were mostly planktic animals with very rapid evolution, with trying to use the new techniques how to feed the plankton, which were short-timed only. They were extremely sensitive on the change of the environment. So these branches very quickly extinct. And through all Silurian, we can. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Through all Silurian, we can observe the reduction of complexity of the graptolite structures from very diversified faunas in lower Silurian, because Silurian is subdivided on the Landovery, Venlo, Kladlo and Přídolí. We don't distinguish the lower, middle and upper officially, but most of us uses. Locality is extremely important because it shows very well the many geological and paleontological and stratigraphical phenomena. First, it was selected by the International Stratigraphical Commission as auxiliary stratotype, or so-called parastratotype, of the Silurian and Devonian boundary. The boundary is placed at the base of occurrence of important graptolite Monograptus uniformis. So the uppermost part of the Silurian represents the different graptolite zone, Monograptus transgrediens. Visible from the bridge, so if you will observe it from some distance.
Thank you very much. So to begin, I would like to say that our castle was founded in 1348 by Charles IV, who was the Bohemian king and the emperor of the whole Roman Empire. And our castle is quite unique among the other Czech castles, because it was used not only as a summer residence of the king, but also our castle became a place for storing crown jewels, holy relics and other treasures. The construction of the whole castle took 17 years, which is not that much for a castle this size. To build up a castle like this in the 14th century, just in 17 years, it was a really good job.
Now we are just at the border of this rock wall, so we are on the Suchomasty limestone, which are upper Emsian in age, so this is the end of the lower Devonian, but the reef core is of Pragian age, so it is lower Devonian plus minus 410 million years ago, and the reef itself existed for the short time
5, 6, maximally 10 million years only. And it was destructed, it was emerged, eroded, and subsequently it slowed down, and the sea, but very shallow sea, covered by the top of this submarine hill. We discussed it at the Budjany Rock near Karlstein, at the base of occurrence of the index graptolite Monograptus uniformis. So this is uniformis, yes. So this is the index fossil for the base of the Devonian. It is a solving of the complicated so-called Hercynian question, which originated in the late 19th century, in the time when Barrand was still alive. And Olda Fatka yesterday discussed that, or told that the Barrand believed that all lower Paleozoic in Bohemia belongs to the system Silurian, in the British Marchesan sense. Pragian boundary GSSP filed in 1989 by the International Stratigraphical Commission on the first appearance of the index conodon Eognatodus sulcatus L. sulcatus, important conodon species, which unfortunately probably occurs several decimeters below the GSSP. So this is nice case of the GSSP which should be redefined in the future. Approximately at the horizon of the bet number 9. So it's not so much, but subsequent observations confirm that the boundary should be census cross slightly below. This is bioturbation. The bioturbation is also widely present, especially in the big city.
Ja, je zet die wisselbaars op. Nou, met een beetje tempo.
Daar gaan we. Jinak tenhle ten důl jsme začali zprovozňovat v roce 95.
So this mine has been reconstructed in 1995.
Protože od roku 65, kdy tady byla ukončená těžba, až do toho roku 95 si toho tady nikdo nevšímal.
So because after the finishing of the mining activities in 1965, nobody has an interest about this place.
Železná ruda se tady těžila od roku 1861 až do toho roku 1965.
So the iron ore has been mined here since the 1865 up to the 1965. The knowledge of the Krivoy rock type of iron ore.
Because it was Russians who discovered the place.
No.
Oh, you
It helps a lot. This is a type of drill which was established here after Second World War. So from the days, the equipment only changed a little. It's pressure ironing. If I will have to continue with this small rig, I have to drill approximately 30-40 holes. So each will be 1.5 meter long.
As you know, we are celebrating this year our 85th year of existence of the Leidse Geologische Vereniging, and I would like to invite you to join me in a toast to the LGV.
Thank you.
Peter, this excursion is really in line with previous lustrum excursions we had with the LGV. The program was magnificent. We've seen a lot. Luckily, we had much nicer weather than was predicted, and we've seen really a lot of the Paleozoic. It was really interesting. You showed us the Barrandium with its key outcrops, and it was all well explained. And today, I found this outcrop along which we walked for nearly 2 hours. Excellent, and that is the real way how you should look at geology. A long section and walk along it and talk about it. It's really good. But it was not only geology you showed us here in this area. You also showed us this very nice castle of Karlstein.
Ja.
And on top of that, you have explained to us the national history of the Czech Republic. Really good. Well, we all enjoyed this excursion, and as I would like to thank you for the time you've spent with us and you've explained to us, and I would like to thank you with a special gift. It's a fluid gift, and especially for you as a geologist, it has been packed in stone. So I would like to give you this.
Thank you very much to you all for your
You can say it.
It isn't iron ore.
Peter, on top of that, we are celebrating our 85th anniversary of the Leidse Geologische Vereniging. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a session in Leiden where we're celebrating the fact that 40 years ago, we have arrested the Eurasian plate 40 years ago with a big screw. The screw has been removed because there was a reconstruction of the building where it was placed. The Zoological Institute has disappeared there, but the screw we still have. And we took it with us, and this whole idea about arresting continents came from the Stop Continental Drift Society. And a couple of key members are present here. I would like to give you this also as a gift. Thank you very much. Okay. On top of that, you see us wearing all time.
Tuurlijk.
And this summer, Jan de Kool and his wife will visit Prague for another time, and he will bring for you and for Professor Fatka a time. Barrandium of Prague, and it was not only that you gave the idea, but also you established all the contacts with the Prague University and the Czech geological service. On top of that, you have translated many documents and you have put them together in a Dutch excursion guide, which was very well readable. Thank you for that. Yesterday at the Golden Spike, at the clock section, we had to go together around the monument for a photograph, for an article you have to write for Geo-News.
Oh.
The Geo-brief, yeah. Now, Leo and I were thinking yesterday, what would be a suitable gift for Jan? For having done all this work for us, but also with his future work for writing this article. And we went to a shop here and there we found the perfect gift. And this gift symbolizes the union of the Netherlands and the Czech Republic, because we are here as Dutch, we are, have had an excellent excursion in the Czech Republic, but also that it symbolizes the union of you and your wife. Vera. Who organized a kind of private excursion to a couple of partners to us here today in Prague. Okay, well, what was this perfect gift? It is the blend of the Netherlands and the Czech Republic. Well, what would that be? Well, from the Czech Republic, of course, it's vodka.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And then from the Netherlands, it's cannabis.
I was, for my PhD in 1965, I was here, and I worked in the Malostranské náměstí for 5 or 6 weeks, I don't remember, especially with 2 specialists. First of all, Havlíček, Vladimír Havlíček, and also with Horník. Havlíček was in your institute, no, that was not your institute, the geological Gustav. Yeah, that Malostranské náměstí. Yes. And Horník was in the National Museum. And I could study all these brachiopods, and wonderful collections of brachiopods that just, fitted very nicely with what we found in Spain. So that made a nice connection. And Havlíček had just published a wonderful review of the kinds of brachiopods that I was studying as well, with enormous detail and very specific. And these forms are so wonderful. But also in Cantabria, and Cantabrian mountains, they're excellent, and it just fits together like, hand of glove. Anyway, it was marvelous to be here. I remember it was the communist time, of course, and Havlíček was a member of the party, and he explained me what it all meant to him. And then when I met him again 10 years later on an excursion, he was very relieved that he had quit the party. And then I had to say to him, well, now I am in a kind of party. Very cross with me. But that's all passé, We don't think about it just for the fun. But we have here, and that is important for us to know, a wonderful tradition. First of all, Barrandium was a genius, I think, one of these wonderful people who just initiate something out of nothing. Yeah. And it's amazing what he achieved. And then he got all these followers, and Havlíček, who made many of these big summaries of what happened. And he said, my goal is to redo the work and modernize the work of Barrandium so that it will stay. And together with other people like Klopach, and you mentioned many of them, they had a school, a veranda school, I think it was. And now your generation, with Jiří Kříž and yourself, is just taking over again. And it's so wonderful that this whole area now is just right on the map. You know, it's there. Thanks to this school and all the work that has been involved, Havlicek worked day and night on these things. He was always busy with intellectuals. And I think we should be very thankful for that. This tradition was there. The Paleozoic of this area is known to the world. And thank you. That's now we are here and we can take advantage of it. And I think it was very nice. So this excursion to me was like a party, a feast of memories.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.